What's up, guys? Big Papa Drock back with another Raid Shadow Legends video, and yes, this is a video that many of you have requested for quite some time, and that is for me to build my Vulkanos. Now, I have had my Vulkanos for, I don't know, for literally for months, and I've used him a bit, but not as much as I probably should have, because he's an absolutely disgusting champion. And so finally, the other night on stream, I was like, all right, let's build Vulkanos. We'll use him. I also built, I think, Chalco that night, and then I ended up not using Vulkanos at all and only used Chalco. So this is long overdue for us to do a little Vulkanos action and shred with this bad boy. And yes, he absolutely can shred, and is an incredible arena, siege, you know, any kind of PvP champion, just an absolute monster. But first and foremost, let's talk about why I waited to do this video for such a long time. And really what it boils down to is the blessing. If you get a Vulkanos, you're putting Incinerate on him pretty much guaranteed, because you need those HP burns those HP burns you need them to do maximum damage. And when I first pulled him, I did not have a soul for him, and I really wanted to wait until I hit at least level 5 on the blessing so that I could get that 100% increased damage from the HP burn debuffs. Now, you don't even necessarily need level 6 on this champion, frankly, because realistically at that point, you might be triggering Amaria's passive, where anytime you triggered HP burn, or I should say when you're triggering the HP burn, you're decreasing turn meter, which means you're triggering Marius's passive. So it's not really a bad thing to not be at 6 stars. You also don't necessarily need a lot of speed on this champion for him to be absolutely monstrous. So 5 stars, that gets the job done. That makes those HP burns extremely threatening. But let's take a look at his kit and see exactly why. So first and foremost, on the A1, Molten Blade, each time the skill is used, attack one enemy. Each time the skill is used, permanently increases the damage inflicted by the skill by 10%, stacking up to 100%. Damn, okay, so massive damage potential increase every time you're hitting somebody. But wait a second, has a 50% chance to counterattack with this skill each time an enemy under an HP burn debuff attacks this champion or their allies. Oh man, that is a hell of an A1. Now, he is a faction unity champion, so no surprise that his kit's going to be pretty damn good, but that is pretty impressive for an A1. A chance to counterattack, the fact that you're increasing the damage permanently, as long as, you know, every time you use it, basically. I mean, that's nutty. That can get really nasty really quick. Take a look at the A2. Attacks all enemies, places a fear debuff for 2 turns. This debuff cannot be resisted by enemies under an HP burn debuff, and it's on a 3-turn cooldown. Man, so far, I'm really liking this kit. Don't know about you guys, but placing a fear, like whatever, but the fact that you can't have it resisted as long as somebody's under HP burn and you get an AoE, awesome. 3-turn cooldown, super quick, right back into it. Then we've got where we start getting into the faction unity skills. We've got Demolition Burn, which attacks one enemy 2 times. The damage inflicted by the skill increases by 10% for the turns left remaining of any HP burn debuffs on the enemy team, stacking up to 100%. This guy's kit is nuts. I mean, just forget all the faction unity stuff, which is about to make it even more insane. Just his base level kit is actually really damn good. And that's why I think he's such a great champion. But now let's get into if you get demon spawn people on the team with him, because this is when he really starts to take a turn into the insanely broken and absolutely dominant in PvP. So one faction ally, damage received by this champion is decreased by 50% while the skill is not on cooldown. So already makes him significantly harder to kill before he's taken a turn, essentially. 2 faction allies, each time an HP burn debuff is activated on an enemy, has a 50% chance to decrease this skill's cooldown by 1 turn. So again, like, you're going to be getting this skill back. Basically, it's going to be available all the time, is the way it sounds right there. Then if you manage to get 3 faction allies, if the target is under an HP burn debuff, this attack will ignore Stone Skin, Unkillable, ally protection, block damage, and shield buffs. Holy smokes, man, that is filthy. Like, if you can get on a team of all demon spawn, which obviously is going to be more, you know, possible in classic arena versus live arena, but if you can do it, suddenly this skill is absolutely bonkers good. You're doing way more damage. You are, you know, getting the skill back really quickly, and you're basically ignoring everything as long as they're under HP burn. So, wow, that's nuts. But it gets better, folks, because let's look at the passive, and this is where he truly takes a leap into insane. Whenever an enemy receives a buff or has their turn meter increase, has a 50% chance to place an HP burn debuff on that enemy for 2 turns. If an enemy already has an HP burn debuff, has a 50% chance to instantly activate it instead. If there are multiple champions in the team with a skill, only one will activate. But that requires no demon spawn allies to do. This obviously makes him an incredible counter to speed teams. If somebody is trying to get at you with speed, you have the ability to throw up HP burn debuffs. You know what I mean? Every time they're buffing or increasing their turn meter. I mean, he is like one of the absolute best options to counter a speed team. But you'll notice there's nothing about, you know, it being irresistible or being blocked, right? Like, you need accuracy if you don't have people from demon spawn on your team, because here's where it gets nuts. If you have just one faction ally, your HP burn debuffs placed by the skill cannot be resisted or blocked. Man, that is crazy. That is absolutely crazy. So if someone's got block debuffs up, doesn't matter, right? If somebody's got stone skin, of course this is going to be placed on them because HP burn is the stone skin counter, but there is no way to avoid this if you've got one faction ally, and only one faction ally is pretty easy to do even in live arena. So that's very, very, very doable. Now we get to having 2 faction allies. Each time an HP burn debuff activates on an enemy, this champion gains 5% ignore defense, stacking up to 100%. So it is literally feasible in a fight for Vulkanos to have 100% ignore defense on every one of his abilities, courtesy of this passive. Wow. You can understand why sometimes this dude absolutely will nuke the living hell out of you if they've procced enough HP burn debuffs, right? So hardcore speed counter. And then finally, it gets even better. It gets even more insane. 3 faction allies places a block revive debuff on enemies killed while under an HP burn debuff. So this dude literally has the potential to ignore 100% of defense, to throw out unblockable, unresistible HP burn debuffs. And oh yes, anybody that dies under an HP burn debuff literally gets block revived. Holy shit. You can see why he is an absolute monster, again, in any kind of arena, but especially in Classic, if you're not countering him correctly, right? So he really does make it hard to use a speed team against him, or to use champions like Marius, for example, that throw out tons of buffs, right? Throw out a ton of buffs, and suddenly they're just absolutely incinerated. So incredible kit, incredible champion. I need to use him more, frankly. I really do. Again, blessing wise, you're going incinerate, end of story. That is the choice. His aura gives you an ally defense increase. He is a defense based champion. He also gets the ally speed increase as well for demon spawn people on the team. So not a bad double aura there to get some more defense, get some more damage for him. Let's take a look now at the Relic. And this is one of the biggest reasons why you might not use Vulkanos. And that is, as you can imagine, he literally will spend the vast majority of some fights as a sheep. It is extremely difficult to keep him from being a sheep if you are going against anybody that has a ton of sheep blessings on their team. And rightfully so, right? If you've got multiple demon spawn allies on your team, he's throwing out HP burn debuffs left and right if they're buffing, if they're increasing turn meter, and they can't be blocked or resisted. So you're throwing out a ton of HP burn debuffs. If somebody has a lot of sheep, this champion will become a sheep, and that is why you absolutely must have Wand of Submission on him. This is the de facto standard of what you're going to put on Vulkanos. Frankly, I don't even know if you should use him against teams that have sheep if you don't have this on him. We'll take a look at the build in a second. We'll talk about, you know, how to build him correctly, but he is a champion that basically requires this in order to function. If Polymorph didn't exist, this champion would be probably one of the most insane champions in the entire game. With Polymorph, he's definitely kept a little more in check. But again, with Wand of Submission, you have a pretty good chance, especially at a level 6, of tossing those sheep debuffs back. So Wand of Submission, you got your free one. If you have a Vulkanos, put it on him if you're going to use him. Let's take a look now at Masteries. Now, it's important to note that there are multiple different ways to do Masteries here on this guy, right? you'll notice you can't see it, but I have gone for Helm Smasher down here. You don't necessarily need to do this if you're going to use him with 3 Demon Spawn allies, because he's going to eventually get to 100% ignore defense, right? But what I've done here is gone with kind of a, hey, maybe I don't have 2 Demon Spawn allies. That's actually what it is, 2 Demon Spawn allies on a team. Maybe I only get 1 if I'm in live arena, right? So I'm kind of trying to build him with the idea of, if I'm going to use him in live arena, and if I only end up getting 1 Demon Spawn ally on the team, how do I make sure that he still gets value, right? So Helm Smasher, you absolutely can use this. You could also use Eagle Eye, giving you a little more accuracy. Now, again, that would be more along the lines of you're not getting Demon Spawn allies on the team at all, and you need to place those HP burn debuffs, which then would require accuracy if you don't have at least 1 ally on the team to make them irresistible and unblockable. So it really depends on where you're planning to use him in terms of what masteries you're going to select. You could also go Arcane Celerity if you're trying to build him a little faster, or trying to have him, increase his turn meter to get back around to his skills quicker. I have not gone with that. I've gone with more of a standard kind of nuker profile, but it really just depends, again, on what you want to do. So I'm going more, if I can't get multiple allies, if I can't get Demon Spawn people, and I need him to just be able to do something on his own, this is kind of more the build that I would go. So you can certainly, like I said, Arcane Celerity, Eagle Eye, things like that, absolutely viable. Even potentially you could go Cycle of Magic with him as opposed to Cycle of Violence, but this is kind of how I'm rolling. So it depends on where you want to use him and how you want to build him. Speaking of, let's take a look at how he is built. And basically the best way to build him, in my opinion, is pretty much going to be 4-piece Stone Skin, 4-piece Pinpoint. Having the Stone Skin on there helps a lot when it comes to just keeping him alive, making sure that he is able to get those HP burn debuffs out when other people are buffing, or turn meter increasing without him dying, because you need him there to really enact those burns and get that damage up on himself. So basically, yeah, this is kind of the de facto build. You need Pinpoint on him no matter what. I mean, if you don't put Pinpoint on him, you are really, well, for lack of a better phrase, playing with fire. So you got to have Pinpoint on him in some form. I think Pinpoint Stone Skin makes a ton of sense. The only other build that I could see hypothetically working on him is if you go 6-piece Pinpoint, triple reaction. I think there is a case to be made for that being a solid build as well. Obviously triple reaction, you're going to probably build them a lot slower in that case. So those are really your 2 best options, either 6-piece Pinpoint, triple reaction, or Stone Skin with Pinpoint. And then you can build him a little bit faster, though again, he doesn't need to be super fast in arena to do his job. So let's take a look at the pieces that I have on him. This isn't anything crazy. It's not my best pieces. Again, you don't really need to have your best pieces on this champion necessarily if you're putting multiple allies with him, because if he's ignoring 100% of defense, he's going to be a monster. And oh yeah, those burns are going to do most of the work for you anyway. You really just need him to stay alive and not become a sheep. But you can see here, Stone Skin, Pinpoint, nothing crazy, some defense, some speed. I've got a broken set on here, so I've got a weird shield piece. Hilarious that I have a triple crit rate roll and shield, of all things. And then a triple crit rate crit damage glove. And then we go down here, and I do have a triple speed roll with defense. And then crit damage and defense again, one down here. What's it all add up to? Well, we're sitting at 7,400 defense, 63k HP, 234 speed. So again, pretty slow. Pretty slow. Not in today's arena, that's actually very slow. 337% crit damage, so a decent amount there. And then 294 accuracy. So I did try to get a little bit of accuracy on him just in case I don't get 1 Demon Spawn ally. But again, you're going to get way more value out of this champion if you're stacking him with other Demon Spawn allies, whether it's live arena or whether it's classic. So let's take him into Dragon. This is kind of a tough champion to test, at least not in arena, because realistically, I'm not going to sit around for 20 minutes for like his burns to finally enact on the enemy team to get more ignore defense. Like, we're just going to kind of have to see what he does at a base level and then see what he does in arena when he is potentially fully enabled to nuke off of those ignore defense HP burn increases. So let's get him in here. Let's get him in. We're going to try him. I think if it makes sense to put a bunch of Demon Spawn allies with him from the get-go. Let's just see. Let's see him without Demon Spawn allies, and we'll see him with Demon Spawn. So we'll do both. Although, again, I don't think I can sit here and wait for him to proc like 20,000, 20,000 birds. But let's just try this to start. Get a little normal standard kind of what does he do on his own? Dragon 23, what's he capable of damage wise? This is obviously not an insane build, but it's not a bad build either. All right. Increase or decrease defense goes out. We got increase defense up. Let's slow it down. Let's go ahead and let's try the A2 first. This places the fear. And then again, we don't have any HP burn debuffs about because of course we're going first. Yeah, you can see the damage is pretty low. It's really nothing special when you don't have HP burn debuffs out to have increased his ignore defense, right? So you're not really doing a ton of damage here on that A2 by itself, aka with no demon spawn allies to juice it up. Does he get back around? He does. Let's take a look at the A3 now. Just remind everyone, attacks enemy enemies 2 times, damage inflicted, increases by HP burn. So again, we have no HP burns out. So henceforth, this should probably hit pretty weak. It's a double hitter, right? It is. So let's just see what one hit does. Yeah, I mean, not incredible, right? Not very good. It really just goes to show, and that's even with increased defense, right? And decreased defense out here. It just goes to show you really do need demon spawn allies to maximize his damage through this value. Now, again, if you're getting HP burn debuffs out, you're going to be doing damage no matter what, especially with Incinerate. You know, you have the potential to really cook people every time those things pop. But having demon spawn allies certainly make things a lot better. So let's see. Can we add some demon spawn allies and actually get any kind of test in here that makes sense? Let's see. Where's a Duchess? Sounds good. And then usually what you'll see him with in live arenas, you'll see something like either Commodus or Carnage. Those are pretty common teams. Like throw out a Vulkanos, a Commodus, a Carnage, maybe a Duchess. Now you've got 3 potential other allies to work with. So I don't know if we're going to be able... I could actually put a Gizmek on there to throw some HP burn debuffs out no matter what, but don't know if we're really going to get full value out of this, but we'll try. Can we just maybe slow it down? Let him get his burns off? Okay, we still don't have HP burn debuffs. We still don't have any way of getting them out there. We'd have to basically wait here. So let's just try. Let's do that. Okay, nice. Honestly, if anything, I could just use the A1. See what he does. We could just get one of these HP burn debuffs out. God damn, they're so slow. They're so slow. It's crazy how much, like, you think about the new content they put out there, right? With like Faction Wars Hard and how every champion in that is actually quite fast. And then you go back to like legacy content like this, and I think these champions are at like 100 speed or something crazy. They're not even going to get. There's no buff placing, I guess, here. Like this is pointless. This is pointless to try to sit here and do it. Let's just take him into arena and do what he's meant to do, and just show what he's capable of there. So, all right, into arena. We're in platinum. This is also reset day. I'm ranked 266 right now. So reset day means we should have some pretty good defenses in here. I already like put a little team together here. And again, this is kind of like your standard Vulkanos setup. You've got 3 demon spawn allies here. In this case, you've got a Commodus, you got a Carnage, 2 of the best demon spawns out there. You've also got our beautiful girl, Duchess. So Duchess can absolutely make a comeback when it comes to using her with Commodus. You could also do something like Kymar, hypothetically. You know, there are still a lot of really damn good demon spawn champions. One of the other ones you might see too is you might see him with the Cheshire Cat. A lot of people love to pop him off with the Cheshire Cat. Kind of a nasty combo as well. So we're just going to roll with these 4, and we're going into a team that has a Sifi. They have a freaking Shuzen. They've only got 1 polymorph here, so hopefully we can avoid that. But let's just see what happens versus a Marius-based team here. We're going to slow this down. We're already in ×1. We're going to let it go. So we don't have to do it. Just take the hands off the controls. Here come the buffs, right? There's the turn meter increase. Look at that. We're already cooking. We're absolutely cooking. He's locked us out. Carnage is doing his thing. Some more buffs. He's chilling. Our boy's chilling. We got HP burns up. He's counterattacking. Block revive. Done. Boom. Look at that. Threat over. Game over. You're done. You're cooked. It's over. I mean, like, it's just crazy. It's crazy. You know what I mean? It's crazy. And the HP burns just do the work for you. Look at that. Block revive again. Here we go. Boop, boop. Block revive. He's a nutty champion. He's a nutty champion. Ooh, this looks like an issue team. Let's throw him in here. So we have a Kymar, hypothetically strip us. We got a Gizmac as well. Another Siphi. Oh, polymorph. Thankfully, we haven't been polymorphed yet. Look at the damage from the HP burns. Look at him just absolutely melt everybody. Just melting. Destroying. He doesn't have to take a turn. He doesn't have to do jack diddly shit to annihilate a team. He can just sit here and chill. He's having a good time. He's in the lava. He's burning. He's happy. He's a happy dude. Having a great time just chilling. And I've got this on 1 so we can just see how absurdly strong that is. Like, they are literally already at quarter health solely off of HP burns. Another turn meter increase. Boom, dead. Carnage comes in there, finishes him off. Again, as long as you can avoid him becoming a sheep, right? If you can avoid him becoming a sheep, that's really the big thing that screws him. You just can't have him be a sheep. If he's a sheep, you're in deep, deep, deep shit. But here we go. Let's try the AoE, right? AoE here should be block revives. GG's, my friends. GG's. And then you clean it up with Communist and everyone dies. These aren't super strong teams. Let's see if we can get a stronger team here. Now, Marichka, obviously, big potential counter to him in some ways. So let's go ahead and let's take on a Marichka Taurus team. How much polymorph we got here? We actually only have 1 just on the Marichka. Now, just to remind everybody, once we get around to his turn, so we'll go ahead and let everybody burn up here. Oh, we got stripped, so this could be a little tough. And as you can see, up goes the block damage, right? Now, somebody like Commodus can help alleviate this by stripping it. He managed to live that. Pretty impressive, actually, that he managed to live that. I'm actually kind of shocked, but that's the added bonus of his, whatchamacallit, of his passive on that A2, where if it hasn't been used, he takes a lot less damage. So the other thing here, too, if you look at this, you know what I mean? You can go through Stone Skin, Unkillable, Ally Protection, block damage, right? As long as they are under an HP burn debuff. So we could hypothetically, if there weren't Stone Skin up here, we can go through this. He hasn't taken a turn yet, though, so I think that reaction's going to proc here. Let's just check and see. Let's just see if reaction procs. Okay, it only procced once, but you can see the massive amount of damage we did right there, right? Pretty nuts. Pretty nuts. This is probably the worst team to bring him into, in all honesty, because you have the block damage that makes it harder to use, and you have the Crixia that can strip him, which makes him harder to keep alive. So you got to be aware of where you're throwing him into. Like, Marichka, definitely a big-time counter to this champion. But here we go. UDK, block revived. Block revived. I mean, it's so good. It's so good. Even a team like this, even the Taurus Marichka team, struggling. Come over here, block revived. Again, it works on everybody because it's a passive. He doesn't have to be the one to kill them. Somebody else can kill them. As long as they're under HP burn, it's game over. So nuts. What was his damage there? 78k? Jesus. My God. Why have I not been using this champion more? Ooh, here's a good one. Let's try it over here. This should be interesting. We got Siegfried. We got a nice. This could be an interesting one. Let's see how it goes. This could be a tough one here. Okay, we're locked out per usual. Oh, yep, we're cooked. That's the power of the strip of the Stone Skin there, you know what I mean? Nice is still absurdly strong, as you can tell. Now, we're probably going to get cooked here because I think we're going to get absolutely, destroyed by Rage and Nephilim. So, again, it's not like a guaranteed win, right? You know what I mean? You can't just throw them in there and guaranteed win. There are champions, there are teams that are going to make it tough. And if people get that Stone Skin off and are able to get to him before they burn out, it can be a lot more challenging. Let's try, here we go. Let's try another Marius team. Hopefully we don't get stripped here. Okay, we did get stripped. I would love to have, for example, a reaction piece on him as well. That would be like the only other thing I would consider doing instead of that like broken piece with the shield, is getting him into a reaction piece. But again, look at the amount of damage he does. He does so much damage as long as he can stay alive. And that Incinerate procs. Let's see. Here we go. Arbeus team. This should be good. Arbeus plus also Marius should be a fun one. I just think it's hilarious that he doesn't even have to take a turn in order to basically completely decimate a team. I mean, just look at that. There's the counterattack, right? He has that chance to counterattack. There comes our buddy Carnage coming in there. Good Lord, man. The block revive's coming out, and everyone's getting burned. Now here comes the Croesus. Block revive there. She's burning again. Dead. It's just nuts. He is such a phenomenal speed counter if you can get him with multiple allies. Let's try a team. Let's try something where we don't get him with 3. So let's go again. 3 gives us what? The block revive and gives us the ability to go through this. But let's try him with just 2 and see how that goes. So team with just 2, we'll take out the Carnage and we'll throw in, I don't know, who's in a bolster set? I can't remember. I'd love to get a bolster set on. We'll throw in a Freya. How about that? I never use this champion. Should honestly really do a showcase on her. But so now we've got 2. We got Stone Skin going up. Outgo the HP burns. We're locked out again. Does he strip? Didn't get the strip this time. Okay. We could die here, Commodus. We polymorphed him. Okay, we did die. We're just going to chill. Commodus still so nasty. Still absolutely disgusting. Look at that. We're provoking. What a legend. Steal that. Lock him out. All right, one more turn until we can res. I obviously could kill everybody with Commodus, but I want our buddy Vulkanos to be the one that does it. So let's bring him back. Now, we don't have any pinpoint here. Do they have polymorph? They do have polymorph. So we got to hope that we don't become a sheep. Got to pray we don't become a sheep. That's the big thing. Please don't become a sheep. Okay. Odin also kind of tough because of that block damage buff coming up, right? Let's try just A1ing. Nice. Put him down. He's getting more damage, of course, on that A1 as the fight goes on. So this champion also gets significantly stronger as you go along because of those counterattacks with the A1. Okay, we wanded. So there's an example of us wanding him. Obviously not the ideal usage of the wand. We wanted wand more for if, well, actually, yeah, pretty much the ideal usage of the wand because we would have been polymorphed otherwise. I would like for him to kill everybody. I want for him to be the one to do it. You know what I mean? Trying not to showcase the other broken champions here. That's always the fun part of the showcase, right? Is who enables who to do what. Okay. There we go. He's also built so slow, right? So he's not getting his turn. So that's why, maybe Arcane Celerity would make sense. Get him back around there. But he doesn't have any of these HP burn debuffs up either since their turn meter increase is gone. Really, you want to put him into teams that have tons of buffs, that are just throwing buffs out there, or just tons of turn meter increase. Let's do, like, Arbeus, really phenomenal. Also, you could say, like, someone like Galathier, he could do things that are pretty solid. Why not? Did we try this team already? I don't think we did. Let's try this team. And we'll take all the Demon Spawn allies away except for one. We'll leave the Duchess. And here we'll just throw, what do I throw in here? Just something random. I could throw something like Gizmak in. Right? HP burns. Doesn't matter if it's him placing the HP burns, just if the HP burns are out there, correct? I think so. Let's try him with a Gizmak. So HP burns out. Look at that. Almost already completely removed the stone skin. More HP burns go out because even though he cleansed with Galathier, the reality is that he also turn meter boosted. More HP burns. Our buddy just got block revive. That's never fun. This is not a double hitter, correct? No. It's just a solo hitter. That should be no block revive there, of course. Switches forms as you get burned. Nice, still pretty tough to deal with, right? Our good buddy Nice. Boy, how I love this champion. Boy, howdy. We're about to get nuked so hard. We're about to get absolutely obliterated nuke-wise. Nice. No pun intended. Good affinity too versus Nice. That's the other thing. Now, because we don't have multiple champions here, you know what I mean? We can't just go through this. If we had 3 champions, we would be able to potentially go through it if we had an HP burn debuff, but we don't. So I guess we'll just go ahead and A1. He counterattacks. Did we get block revived? What the hell? Did we get block revived? Oh, yeah, we did. With the Nice. That's right. I forgot. This champion does everything. What was I thinking? Oh, my God. Of course. Why? Did we get block revive? Of course we did. It's Nice. Obviously we did. Duh. Not bad damage there. I keep trying to revive because I'm apparently not thinking. There we go. Perfect. Put him down. So, you know, that wasn't a super strong team, right? This is a pretty low-powered account. You know, you really need the champions to make it work. You really do. You need to have more demon spawn allies to get the max value out of them. You know, or you just need to be going into maximum turn meter boosting. So let's see if we can find like just tons of turn meter boost. Galathier, Marichka doesn't really make sense because of this, but let's try this. Let's try the Secret one. Let's go back in there, throw more of those demon spawns in. Where is Commodus? Okay, we're back to max demon spawn. Surprisingly, I'm actually kind of shocked he hasn't become a sheep yet, in all honesty. I genuinely thought he would have become a sheep by now. So that's great. That's good news. Other nice thing about Duchess, of course, you get that passive, the ability to just reduce damage, you know, AoE damage. He's just chilling. He's big time chilling. Should be able to just kill, I believe, with the passive. Block revive. Sick. Right? Hoping I would be able to turn around. Look at that. Look at the burns, man. Look at the burns just cooking. And he had so much ignore defense from that. Just sick champion, dude. Sick champion. It just comes down to, can you avoid him becoming a sheep? You know what I mean? Can you avoid him becoming a sheep? And do you have enough demon spawn allies on the team to make him work? Like, can you get enough demon spawn allies on the team so that he gets the maximum amount of value? I think as long as you can get 2, he's really damn good, right? I think 2 is kind of the magic number. 1 makes it a little tough. 2, I think, is really where you get the most value. Oop, he's going to die here. Yeah, I just didn't get enough damage out. This is why I would love to get, I think, a reaction piece on him. Just makes him that much more threatening, especially if you're building him slow. Now, you could build him faster, of course, where you don't have to worry as much, where he's going to get in there and, especially with Arcane Celerity, maybe get a turn, come in, nuke, especially if those HP burn debuffs are proccing. So I might want to maybe cook his speed up a little bit if I'm trying to use him with multiples. That way he at least gets a turn or at least get a reaction on there as well. Maybe do both. Let's try this team again. All right, HP burn goes up. Got a counter attack here, so that's another big distance too. Boom, block revive. A little bit of RNG in that, right? Do you get the counter attack? Do you pop out there? Do you put a block revive on somebody if you've got 3 of them? HP burn go up again. It's not a guaranteed, of course. Triggered the passive. We don't have to worry now, though. We're just chilling. Damage is done. And now we can just watch him burn out. Such a cool champ. Such a unique, cool champ. The only other champ that like kind of reminds me of him a little bit in terms of hard countering speed is like Queen of Hearts. Just does it in a different way. You know. So that definitely, he had his ignore defense up for sure there. Where, you know, enough procs and suddenly he's ignoring a ton of defense. So that's pretty much the gist of it, guys, right? He's not a super hard champion to build. He doesn't necessarily require lots of insane stats to make him work. It's just about, can you get demon spawn allies on the team with him? And can you keep him alive? Can you keep him alive so that he's able to do what he does and get those HP burn debuffs out there in order to take down your enemies as they try to outspeed you. So that's really it. He is an anti-speed counter. I kind of want to do one more. I kind of want to do one more Gizmac one. You know what I mean? Just see if we, like, how does it feel with one more Gizmac? Just one more. I'm like, we didn't get a good enough 2-turn one, so let's just get one more in here. I can't help myself. I just want to see one more with the Gizmac, where the HP burn debuffs go out no matter what. Okay, so HP burn goes out. He's already annihilated the shields. More HP burns are out. He's chilling. He's counterattacking. This should be not a block revive. I didn't get the kill there. That's okay. Bring everybody back. Yeah, cool. Everyone's dead. Yeah, we'll take that. Not bad. I think I'm going to put reaction on him. That's my gut instinct here. I think I'm going to put reaction on him. I think I might even try him in a triple reaction build with no stone skin, just to see, you know, or just make him a little bit faster. So again, multiple different ways you can kind of do this, but the effect is the same. You get him out there, you let him trigger his burns, get multiple demon spawn allies on the team, and he just melts. He just melts. So super cool champion. Glad I finally built him. Definitely need to use him in arena more often. So if you come by the stream, I'll try to use this guy a little bit more and see if I can tweak this build to be a little more functional. And then also come up with some teams for live arena where I could maybe get at least 2 demon spawn allies out there with him. Again, I think the ones that make the most sense: Kymar, Carnage, Duchess, Commodus. Those are kind of your go-to when it comes to maxing out his value. But thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Did you enjoy the showcase? If you do, make sure to like and subscribe. Do you have a Vulkanos yourself? Are you going to pull for him? You know I love to read those things and hear what the community is thinking. So keep me posted, guys. And yeah, you know what? We'll have to make sure we get a little more action with him in live arena on one of the streams. So thank you so much for watching. I'll catch y'all later. Big Papa Drock out.